People are very good about predicting climate change. They say, look, it's not a myth, it's a fact. It's not a future problem, it's a right now problem. There has been heat trapping greenhouse gases, and this has caused a terrible change, which we see with our eyes. Glaciers and ice sheets are shrinking. Rivers and lakes, their ice is breaking up. All this happens earlier. Plant and animal geographic ranges are shifting. The poor little animals are trying to cope with it. The plants and trees are blooming sooner.
Polar bears.
The polar bears, the ice loss, the accelerated sea level rise, the intense heat waves that we're seeing. Not just 100 degrees or 102 degrees, but 114 degrees or whatever. And these are severe things, and we're able to predict them. The scientists are saying, and they've been saying for a long time, that this warming increase is going to be more severe, more pervasive, and more irreversible. Longer wildfire seasons, forests burning, changes in precipitation patterns, flooding, drought, frost-free seasons, seasons that don't last the way they used to last, but last longer. Global temperatures rising. The Arctic becoming an ice-free zone. Can you imagine that? Some people say, well, we predicted all this, and now it's too late to even reverse it. These things will go on for hundreds of thousands of years. Erosion, flooding, risks to infrastructure, high rising waves and ocean swallowing islands, sea levels, extreme heat, decreased water availability, heavy downpours and flooding in some places, and forest fires in other places. This is all something that the scientists have been predicting. And they can tell you all about global climate change and changes to the environment and the global warming and the irreversible thing that's going on, they say, and the time scale of people alive today and what will happen decades from now, and what kind of world will your grandchildren be living in, and all of that. They know all about this stuff. But here's the way Yeshua spoke about this. He said, when you see a cloud rise out of the west, immediately you say, well, there's going to be a shower. And lo and behold, there is a shower. And when you see the south wind blow, you say, oh man, it's going to be hot tomorrow. And so it is. You're able to see in advance something that comes to pass. Then he lowers the boom and he says, you hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that you do not discern the signs of the time? How is it that you don't see this time? My friend, I'm going to be very frank with you. I'm going to spell it out. This is the time when you can get saved. This is the time. Not 10 years from now, not 20 years from now, not 40 years from now. It's right now. And you've got to be able to see that. Which maybe right now you're not. Maybe right now you're thinking about marijuana, tattoos, living with your girlfriend, getting a better job, and all of this other stuff. And you don't discern that this is the one time that you can get saved. Listen, in 1969, actually 68, 69, 70, those 3 years, I did not see the handwriting on the wall that this was the time for me to get saved. That God had a plan for my future and He wanted to get a hold of me while I was young. He wanted to get me in seminary. I had been able to get a master's degree in 1966, and He wanted to use that master's degree to get me into a seminary, a graduate school, and to get a doctor's degree. You say, well, why did you need that? Well, it was important, I think, for the writing that I was going to do. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this, that I could not see the signs of the time. I could not discern that it was my time. So I floundered around 1965, 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, 1970. Those were all wasted years. And I could not see the time. Finally, the Lord opened my eyes in 1971. And I saw that I had to give my life to the Lord. I was ruining my life, destroying my life, wasting my life. And I finally saw that it was time. It was my time to get saved. That's what He's saying here in Luke chapter 12, verse 56. You hypocrite, Phil Goebel. You can see all kinds of things. How is it that you can't see that this is your time? That you can't see that this is your time to get saved? Why can't you see that? The young people who are talking about global warming, they have to also see it's not just the world that is being destroyed, it's their own life that is being destroyed. And they have to see that it is the time right now. This is the time. This is the time to come to the Lord. This is the time to give your life to the Lord. This is the time to let Him have your life and let Him do something with it. Right now. Right now. If you can see all the stuff that I'm talking about regarding the climate, and if you can also predict the weather, if you can see a cloud and know it's going to be a shower tomorrow, or if you can see another cloud and know that it's going to be a hot day, if you don't even need the weatherman because you're so able to predict climate and climate change and climate catastrophe, then you hypocrite, He's saying, you've got to see that there is a climate catastrophe going on in your soul. And as bad as a rising sea level is, as bad as glaciers melting in the Arctic, as bad as it is for little animals to have a difficulty with their environment because of climate change and gas emission greenhouse effects, how much worse is it for you that right now, when you could come to the Lord, when you could discern that this is your time, that your life is going off the rails, that you are not doing God's will, that you are a sinner, that you've broken the Aseres Hadibros, that you really don't know God. You claim to know Him, but you really don't know Him. And you're throwing your life away. And your life will soon be over. And there are so many people who die. And right before they die, their life flashes before them. And they look back over all the decades and they see the missed opportunity. And they know they're not ready to meet their Maker. Tonight you can get ready, and you need to get ready. You need to give your life totally to Him. He can do something with it, and He can lead you and guide you out of harm's way and lead you in the way that you should go and do something glorious with your life. Because when you take it out of your hands and put it into His hands, then something wonderful happens. Let me tell you something. If you had known me in the late 60s, I'm sure you would have said, this guy is a loser. He can never do anything. And I'm sure you wouldn't have liked me either. But I gave my life to the Lord and things changed. Because, listen to me, friend, He can do something with your life. You think you can do it, but you can't. You have to give your life to Him. Shall the pot say to the potter, you can't make my life the way you want it? No. That pot will be shattered. We have to give our life to the Lord. We have to give it to Him. He created us. He wants to redeem us. He loves us. He doesn't want to see us destroy our lives. He's crying out to us, don't be a hypocrite. If you can see all this other stuff, see the climate catastrophe of your own life, and see the time, which is right now, for you to come to the Lord. It's right now. The Lord opened my eyes in 1971. I want to beg you tonight, let this be your 1971. Let 2022 be the year and the time when you turned your life over completely to the one who can do something with it. Yeshua, we thank you and we praise you that you are the Redeemer sent from the Father. And no one knows the Father except the Redeemer and those to whom He chooses to reveal Himself. And I pray, Lord, that you will reveal yourself to someone tonight, and they will know who you are, and they will feel convicted about hanging on to their life, and they will turn their life over to you. They will hand it over to you and let you do something with their life. And Lord, we want to thank you for your redemption, for the purchase of our souls by your blood, by the justification that you made possible for us to be saved, be set right with God. Yeshua, come into my heart, take control of my life, and help me to understand Luke chapter 12, verse 56, so I can discern this time, tonight, right now, my opportunity, my time to come to salvation. And I'll give you all the praise. And everybody said,